Hey guys, it's Green Zephyr. Today I wanted to share my thoughts about Jurassic World Dominion. So, as you all may know, the movie hasn't been doing so great in terms of reviews. I mean, the critics' reviews were like 38 last time I looked on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score was 78, which was pretty good because, um, that's exceptional compared to the Rotten Tomatoes critics reviews, which I was just glad the general public enjoyed it. Now, those reviews about it that are negative have such a huge effect that, first of all, the movie isn't doing as well as it could in theaters because so many people have been told that it's bad, so then they don't even go to see it. And the same thing happened with my brother, where he watched some dumb YouTuber, and the YouTuber said that the movie sucked, and therefore he didn't want to see the movie. So there, they lost his money. And that's dumb because I really enjoyed the movie. So, and the other thing is, there's only one out of all the reviews I read that mentioned the locusts and that being a dumb plot point. Pretty much all of the other bad reviews were whining about how it has the Jurassic Park characters, but it's not Jurassic Park. Like, who cares? Like, whatever. Like, you shouldn't want it to have to be Jurassic Park in order for it to be a good dinosaur movie. Jurassic Park is not the bar. Anyway, we'll move on. So I have four things that I would change about the movie in order to make it I don't know. I mean, I have four improvements that I would make if I were them. If I was doing this movie. I know not everyone would agree, of course, but anyway, I'm gonna go through those now. So the first one, instead of the locust plot where the locusts are eating the human food supply, how much cooler would it be if instead of locusts eating human food, it was Meganora, the 2.5 foot wingspan dragonfly, that was instead eating all of the birds and mammals and lizards and pretty much everything. Because, so we have the whole cat crisis in Australia where like 4 billion birds um, die every year to feral cats in Australia. So what would happen if Meganoras were doing a similar thing and eating all the smaller birds and pretty much any other animal they can catch? Because remember, they're um, 2.5 foot wingspan. They weigh like at least a pound. They're certainly capable of taking out pretty much anything that's their size or smaller. I would even bet they could take things larger than themselves, especially if they work together. And we also have to keep in mind the dragonfly's kill rate, whereas a polar bear has a 10% success rate on getting a kill. A lion has a 25%. A peregrine falcon has a 25%. And dragonflies have a 95%. They almost never miss a catch. If they want something, they're going to get it and they're going to kill it and they're going to eat it. Dragonflies are the ultimate predator. There is no other animal that compares to their level of success. They are top of the food chain in the bug world. They're just the ultimate predator. Like humongous dragonflies would have nothing stopping them. Like a dragonfly the size of a person, nothing would mess with them. Like it would be unstoppable. So what if there were instead millions of Meganoras in the Jurassic World universe, and they were just killing all life on the planet instead of eating all the human food supply? That would just be a way more interesting plot anyway. I think that would be pretty cool. And I was hoping that from the trailer when I saw those locusts in the sky, I was hoping they'd actually be Meganora, but instead they're just locusts. And I agree that the locust thing was kind of dumb because never once have I thought to myself, oh, I wonder what would happen if they made locusts in live action in a movie and what would happen with these prehistoric locusts. Technically, there were prehistoric locusts in a movie before, and it was Land Before Time, one of those movies. I think it was the fifth or something, the one with Chomper. But anyway, and they ate all the food in the Great Valley, and that was like a similar effect here, where basically they just changed it, made it Jurassic World Dominion live action, locusts eating all the food supply. Um, but yeah, so and never once have I thought to myself, how cool would it be to have a movie with a bunch of locusts in it? Like, it's just not something you would expect the plot to be. The trailer really didn't, like, it seemed like that would be a minor part of it, but that was the whole plot, at least pretty much anyway. But anyway, then we keep in mind here that a harpy eagle, which weighs 13 pounds, can take a 20-pound monkey. So, in comparison, we have a 1-pound meganora capable of taking something that's nearly 2 pounds. So, that pretty much is almost all birds. That's pretty much all songbirds, if not all. And most other birds, none of the big hawks or anything and stuff, no eagles or vultures. But if you keep in mind that a dragonfly would be as big as a red-tailed hawk, I'm pretty sure enough, like even just one might be able to outmaneuver, like, well, yeah, that's for sure. It could outmaneuver the hawk. Dragonflies are like also super good in the air. That's why they're so successful as predators, because they can outmaneuver everything. And in a fight against a hawk, I'm sure it could take out a hawk. Certainly not a big one, but something like a red-tailed hawk or a Cooper's hawk for sure. But yeah, these dragonflies could be, like, that'd be a really interesting plot. Like, that'd be cool. The next thing that I would change, so we have this scene where somehow, miraculously, so first of all, we have the truck that falls over, and just conveniently, all 4 of the cages land in the exact same spot where the door is able to open upward. Whereas in real life, that's not even close to possible, because there would for sure be, like, first of all, they would have slid out. They wouldn't have been tumbling, and all 4 happen to land perfectly so the door can slide up. Because what would happen if one landed upside down? Then that door couldn't move, and then the raptor's stuck in there. But they didn't want it to happen because they needed all 4 raptors to be out to add to the plot. But in all reality, there's no way they would have opened like that, or some would have been on the side, whatever. Raptors would have been banged up. But anyway, if we ignore that, this scene we have 4 raptors, 4 people, and 4 guns. So if you recall in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, when Blue is getting reconnected with Owen, and then they trank Blue, and then start trying to capture her, and then Blue tackles a dude and starts killing him, and the dude shoots her in the neck, and she pretty much just, like, she would have died if nobody helped her. She literally 1 bullet to the neck and she's out for the count. Like, over half the movie she's just like paralyzed and, like, well, not paralyzed, but you know what I mean, just losing blood, dying, whatever. And then we have this scene, and like I say, 4 people, 4 raptors, 4 guns. Assuming they each had their gun pointed at a different raptor, all it takes is a single bullet to the skull or neck or heart, and all 4 raptors are dead like that, and they never killed anyone. It'd be as simple as that. And especially considering the amount of time it took, there were several seconds of them coming out of there and walking around before they turned on the people after they got the laser pointer pointed at them. So there was certainly enough time to shoot every single one of them in the head before they would have started killing people. But these people were idiots and just died, except for Barry. Then the next part, thing number 3, I feel it would have been better if Soyona Santos was killed. I actually like the actor. I don't have anything against her. But I just figured, like, all the villains die in the dinosaur movies, or at least, the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, whatever. And Barry could have easily shot her, but he's like, oh, we need to arrest her. Nope, just shoot her or whatever. Yeah, it could have been dealt with differently. And then thing number 4, it would be way cooler, in my personal opinion, if instead of Therizinosaurus, there was Erlodominus in the movie. Because, first of all, that puts a third, Indominus type hybrid, Indominus, Indoraptor, Erlodominus. And that would actually be really cool to see Indominus made into a herbivore, except, just as dangerous as the Therizinosaurus, if not more dangerous. Because, yeah, I just think that'd be awesome to see. Indominus, but part herbivore. And then some noticeable things. So, first of all, we have the Quetzalcoatlus, which you can see from the plane scene that it has a 100-foot wingspan or more. Now, here's the nest on the building in the beginning of the movie. And if you look here, you can see the windows in the buildings, and you can see exactly how small they are. And you can see the Quetzalcoatlus's head sticking out of the nest on top, and then the other one flying. You can see just how massive they are compared to this building. Like there's no way that that's a 100-foot wingspan. That's like 200 or more. You can see those windows in there, and they're absolutely puny. Like this Quetzalcoatlus is massive. Like even just the one on the nest with its head tilted back, like just what you can see of that is like 4 windows wide or more. And that's like not even like the beak there. Like the beak is turned. If the beak is going fully to the side, that's easily like 10 or more windows. Like that's and the windows are spaced apart. Like it's massive. But yeah, so we have to take into account that factor. Same thing with the Mosasaurus. And of course, if someone tried to destroy the nest, that's not possible. They send a helicopter up there with a machine gun. Well, same thing as in Jurassic World 1 when they're trying to kill the Indominus. Put their Gatling gun up there, start shooting. That's not going to happen. Quetzalcoatlus is taking down that helicopter. Send a plane, whatever, or just a plane flies overhead, period. Well, you saw what happened in the movie. Just there's going to be no one safe from those Quetzalcoatluses. They can't destroy the nest because they can't get to it safely. And a few bullets aren't going to take out the Quetzalcoatlus considering it's like 200 feet wide. And I don't even know what feeds it because like a person is minuscule compared to it. And if it was eating fish down in the river over there, like the fish are even smaller. So it's that's a massive dinosaur. Well, prehistoric reptile. The next, this was I don't know if you noticed, but the Carnotaurus is actually TORO. You can see the scar on the face, and then the darker coloration, especially compared to the Carnotauruses in Fallen Kingdom that were more orange, whereas this one's the blacker color and has the red on the face. And then we have the Allosaurus, of course. And also, what's noticeable here, you can see how big they are compared to Owen, which is technically unrealistic because, I mean, they're both around 20 feet long. Allosaurus is bigger than Carno. But if you take into account that the T-Rex in real life is only 13 feet tall and 40 feet long, that's like a little over 2 of me tall. And you can see here the Carnotaurus is like much bigger. And of course, Rexy in Jurassic World is at least 3 people tall and 45 feet long, which is way too big. But it helps it in the fights, I guess. That's why it wins, because it's just bigger than the typical T-Rex by far. But anyway, and then I don't know if you noticed, this was very hard to notice unless you were expecting it. But so there's like a 1.5 second scene at the very, very end of the movie with 2 ankylosaurus walking on the screen, and they're like one's in front and one's farther back, and they're just walking across like a grassland area, I think it was. And the one in the front was your average ankylosaurus. The one in the back was actually blue. I don't know if you picked up on that, but the one in the back was Bumpy. And Colin Trevorrow said that Bumpy would return. We didn't know if it was going to be Dominion or Camp Cretaceous Season 5, but the trailer dropped a while ago and confirmed Bumpy is in the new season, and then for 1.5 seconds in the movie as well. And Bumpy would be obviously a full-grown adult by now instead of, like half the size of these ones as seen here. And then we have my favorite moments. So I actually burst out laughing when Owen just like puts the Dilophosaurus into a chokehold. Like that was hilarious. I mean, he just starts choking it and then gets tased. Like that was hilarious. Like I love that part. And the next, another part that made me laugh. So the Giganotosaurus is thrashing around up here and pulling Claire, trying to pull Claire out of the watchtower. Then Owen just starts, like, he runs up and just starts stabbing it in the head with his knife a whole bunch of times. I thought that was really funny. Like, that was, yeah, it made me laugh as well. That was hilarious. He's just jabbing repeatedly, and the Giganotosaurus doesn't even care. But yeah, that was a funny part. And then, of course, the ending. This is the best image I could find currently because, yeah, I don't know. Some dude took this. I don't know who. Found it on Google. Anyway, so the ending with the Therizinosaurus killing the Giganotosaurus because Rexy pushed the Giganotosaurus into the Therizinosaurus's claws. I thought that was funny, and we all knew that Rexy, well, at least hopefully, we all knew that Rexy wasn't going to die. Like, I knew there was no way they were going to kill off Rexy. It just didn't seem appropriate, especially after Rexy losing in the prologue. So it made total sense that Rexy would either kill the Giganotosaurus or they would both live perfectly fine without killing each other. But here we are, Rexy basically killed the Giganotosaurus. Technically it was a Therizinosaurus, but Rexy was the one who shoved it into the claws. So I still give Rexy the credit. But anyway, they worked together on this kind of like Blue and Rexy did to defeat the Indominus. And I just thought that was a funny way for it to die. Like same thing as the Indoraptor, in a way. Especially with like the double piercing. Indoraptor got stabbed by 2 horns. This got stabbed by 2 different hands of claws. 3 going right through the throat, which is also funny. That's guaranteed dead. And then 3 through the body. And I honestly would have liked to see Blue and Malta taking on the Atrociraptors. That would have been cool too. And who knows if they'd even fight back since they weren't trained. Like if they weren't, because like no one shined a red dot on Blue. Like if that happened, that'd be really interesting to see if they would fight back, if Blue would just kill them all or what. And then the other thing, we have Blue, who was left alone on the mainland, and there is no way that she was not killing people beforehand because Owen was not supervising her. And then after Beta was taken away from her and Owen left, there's no way Blue was just sitting back. Blue was probably killing as many humans as she possibly could. Like, just going out on a killing spree, taking out as many people as possible. It's honestly surprising that she didn't end up dead because you think people would be hunting her. She's killing people. But, you know, the ending, she's fine, and they didn't show her killing anyone, of course. But, like, you can guarantee that she did because her baby got stolen by humans. So, the next best thing for her to do, go out and kill all the humans. And then one more thing. This would make me laugh so hard. If this was actually real, the Dark Steel Brad robot fighting against the Giganotosaurus and T-Rex, like that's just this meme makes me laugh. Like the Spinosaurus couldn't even destroy this thing by biting it and thrashing it around. And so honestly, the dinosaurs stand no chance. They can either gas him or just destroy him with rockets. Like, this is hilarious. Like, it's so unrealistic how they included this in the show, but like I honestly love it because like it's just hilarious. Like this would be really funny if they did that in the movie. But yeah, and that'd be pretty hilarious. Anyway, so I would obviously rate the movie 5 stars. The Locust plot wasn't the greatest, but it was still a very enjoyable movie. It was, it was a good movie, and I enjoyed watching it. I didn't hate really anything about it. There's certainly parts that could be improved on, things that could be changed, but like I didn't like go to theaters and like, oh, I wish I didn't see that. That sucked. No. And I would actually place this as my second favorite film of all time. And number 1, of course, is Jurassic World 1. So this one, and I would honestly tie this with Jurassic World 1. They're both really good. Fallen Kingdom sits below just because um, it the plot made no sense with the whole saving the dinosaurs from an island, whereas there's like 7 islands with dinosaurs on them, so it's insignificant if one is dying, like all the dinosaurs going extinct on the island. But like the only reason it made sense is because the bad guys were capitalizing on being able to sell the dinosaurs from the island. So I guess that's the only reason the plot is validated, because otherwise it would just be pointless to like save the dinosaurs, other than I guess they wanted Blue. But like, yeah, there's really no point in that except for the fact that they're going to sell them. But anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to hear your thoughts on the movie, what you thought about it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.